How many times have you started a transformation plan? Wake up at 5, workout, meditate, cold shower, perfect diet, change everything. Become a new person in 30 days. How many times have you made that plan? And how many times did it actually work? I'm going to tell you a story about a samurai who had the same problem. 400 years ago. He couldn't keep a promise to himself. He'd start training, then quit. Make commitments, then break them. He was failing as a warrior and failing as a man. Until his master taught him 5 principles. That changed everything. Not through motivation, not through willpower. Through something deeper. Something that builds discipline so strong it becomes who you are. And here's what nobody tells you about these principles. They work just as powerfully today as they did in feudal Japan. Because human nature hasn't changed. Weakness is still weakness. Discipline is still discipline. The question is, are you ready to build real discipline, or are you going to keep lying to yourself? But before we continue, like the video, subscribe to the channel. This is how you help us grow and bring you more content like this. Now, back to the story. Chapter 1. The Catastrophe. Northern Japan. Spring of 1592. Saburō knelt in the dirt, face down. Blood dripping from his nose, 23 years old. Training to become a samurai under Lord Yoritomo's banner. And he'd just been humiliated in front of the entire dojo. The sparring match lasted 12 seconds. His opponent, younger, less experienced, disarmed him and struck him across the face with a wooden training sword. Yamamoto-sensei, the master, stood watching, silent, disappointed. This wasn't the first time. This was the pattern. Saburō had talent, natural speed, good instincts, strong build. But talent meant nothing without discipline. And Saburō had no discipline whatsoever. He'd wake up determined. Today I'm training for 6 hours. Today I'm becoming a warrior. 2 days of intense training. Then on day 3, he'd sleep late. Skip morning practice, tell himself he needed rest. The commitment would crumble every single time. The other students noticed they respected him less. He'd become the talented failure, the guy with potential who never delivers. But worse than their judgment was his own. Every broken promise proved something devastating. I can't be trusted. When things get hard, I quit. Can you relate to that? Have you been there? That afternoon, Saburō sat alone in the empty dojo, head in hands, wondering if he should just give up. Footsteps approached. Yamamoto-sensei stood before him. Saburō, he said quietly. Stand up. Saburō stood. Do you know why you keep failing? I lack discipline, sensei. No, you have the same discipline as everyone else. You simply don't know how to build it. Saburō looked up, confused. Discipline isn't something you have or don't have. It's something you build like a muscle. One small action at a time. But you're trying to build a castle before you've laid a single stone. The master gestured to the training floor. Every morning you arrive with grand plans. Train for 6 hours, master 3 techniques, push to exhaustion. By day 3, you've collapsed because you're trying to become someone you're not. Overnight, he paused. Come with me. Yamamoto-sensei led Saburō to a small room. On the wall hung a scroll, ancient calligraphy. 5 principles written in black ink. These are the 5 principles my master taught me 40 years ago. The principles that transformed me from an undisciplined boy into a warrior. He pointed to each one. Shikō, supreme consistency. Kantan, radical simplicity. Kūkan, sacred space. Koku, the record. Shonen, unwavering conviction. You will learn these principles one at a time through daily practice. Starting so small you cannot fail. How small, sensei? Meet me here tomorrow at dawn. I will show you. Chapter 2. Shikō. Supreme consistency. Dawn the next morning. Saburō arrived as the sun touched the horizon. Yamamoto-sensei was already there. Saburō, pick up your bokken. Saburō grabbed his wooden practice sword. Perform 50 overhead cuts. Exactly 50 with proper form. Saburō began. By cut 30, his arms burned. By 45, they trembled. But he reached 50. Good. Now 50 defensive stances. His legs shook, but he completed 50. Now 50 thrusting strikes. By the end, Saburō was drenched in sweat. But he'd done it. 50-50. How long did that take? Maybe 15 minutes. 12 minutes. The master corrected. That is your daily practice. 12 minutes. 50 cuts. 50 stances. 50 thrusts. Every morning at dawn, no matter what. Saburō frowned. That's all. That's all. But how will I become a great warrior training only 12 minutes a day? Yamamoto-sensei smiled. Tell me, Saburō, how many hours did you train last week? Saburō calculated. Monday 6 hours, Tuesday 4, Wednesday and Thursday 0, Friday 2. So 12 hours over 5 days, then 0 for 2 days. And in 3 months, how many weeks did you train consistently every single day? Saburō was silent. The answer was 0. Shikō. Supreme consistency. This is the first principle. It is better to train 12 minutes every day than 6 hours once a week. You know why? Because I built a habit. No, because you build an identity. The master stepped closer. When you train 6 hours one day, you think, I train hard today. But the next day your body is destroyed. So you skip. And what does that prove? That you're someone who starts strong and quits. But when you train 12 minutes every single day, even when you're tired, even when you don't want to, you prove something different. You prove you're someone who shows up. Someone who keeps promises. That's the identity of a warrior. He gestured to himself. I am 60 years old. I have trained every single day for 43 years. Not 6 hours. Not when I felt motivated. 12 minutes minimum. Some days more, but never 0. Your practice is this. 50-50 12 minutes every dawn, no matter what. If you're sick, you do it. If you're tired, you do it. Never 0. Supreme consistency beats occasional. Intensity. Always. This is Shikō, and here's what I want to ask you right now. Can you commit to 12 minutes every single day for 30 days? Because if you can't do 12 minutes, you can't do anything. But if you can do 12 minutes consistently, you can do everything. Chapter 3. The first week, Day 1. Saburō woke before dawn, walked to the dojo, completed his practice. 55,050 12 minutes. Day 2 saw everything hurt. He almost stayed in bed, but he remembered supreme consistency identity, not just action. He completed the practice. Day 3, the danger day. Most people quit here. His mind created excuses. You're too sore. You need rest. But he remembered the master's words. You never do 0. He went to the dojo. His practice was slower, weaker, but complete. After he finished, Yamamoto-sensei appeared. Day 3 is the hardest. You passed the test. Days 4 to 7. Each morning, Saburō showed up. Some days are strong. Some days are weak, but always done. By day 7, something changed. The cuts felt more natural. The stances more stable. His body was adapting. But more importantly, his mind was changing. He started looking forward to the practice. Not because it was easy, but because it was the one promise he was keeping to himself. For the first time in his life, he was proving. I show up. I keep my word. I am reliable. Sunday evening, the master called him over. You've completed 7 days, longer than you've ever maintained any practice. How do you feel? Different sensei, like I'm becoming someone different. You're becoming someone who keeps promises. That's the identity of a warrior. Chapter 4. Kantan and Kūkan. Week 2. Saburō completed his practice. 50-50 now automatic. The master watched. Your form is improving. But I see you thinking about adding more techniques, more complexity. Saburō nodded. I want to progress faster. That's your weakness. Speaking the desire for complexity. Yamamoto-sensei picked up his bokken, performed a single overhead cut. Perfect, fluid, powerful, beautiful. Then again and again. 10 times. Each cut is identical. I have performed this cut 10,000 times, maybe more. Radical simplicity. The second principle, samurai don't master complexity. They master simplicity to such a degree it becomes extraordinary. A master swordsman doesn't know 1,000 techniques. He knows 5 techniques performed 10,000 times each. He sat down. You're learning 3 movements. These 3 movements contain everything you need. But instead of mastering these 3, you want to add more. Why? Because simple feels like you're not progressing. But that's a lie. Mastery is found in simplicity. Repeated until it transcends technique. Continue your practice. 50-50. Don't add anything. Just refine. Make each cut cleaner. Each stance is more stable. Radical simplicity. That's Kantan. Week 3. The master approached. Saburō, where do you train? Here in the dojo, sensei. Exactly where? Usually different spots. The master shook his head. Kūkan, sacred space. The third principle. He led Saburō to a specific spot, a worn section where the wood was lighter. This is where I train. Every morning for 43 years. This exact spot. Why? Because space shapes identity. When you train in different spots, your brain doesn't build strong associations. But when you train in the same spot every day, that space becomes sacred. When you step onto it, your mind shifts. You become the warrior. Tomorrow, choose your spot. Train there every day at the same time, same place. Let the space become sacred. Chapter 5. Kyoku and Shinnan. Week 4. Saburō is now trained in his sacred spot at the same time. Same place daily. The master approached with a book. Saburō, do you record your training? No. Sensei. Then you're training blind. Koku. The record. The fourth principle. He showed the book. Pages filled with dates, numbers, notes. I have recorded every training session for 43 years. What I practiced, how many repetitions, what I learned. Why? Because memory lies, feelings lie. But the record tell this truth. He flipped through pages. I can see proof of consistency, proof of dedication, proof that I am who I say I am. The record also reveals patterns. When I skip, when I make excuses, and I can hold myself accountable. He handed Saburō a small book. Starting today, record everything. Date. What you practiced. How did you felt, what you learned. What gets measured gets mastered. That's Kyoku. Week 5. Day 31. 30 consecutive days. Saburō had never maintained anything this long. But this morning he woke sick. Fever, body aching, mind foggy. He lay in bed thinking, I'm sick. I should rest. Everyone would understand. But then he remembered the master's words. You never do 0. And deeper he remembered his conviction, his why. He thought back to that day. He was humiliated. The feeling of being someone whose word means nothing. Someone who can't be trusted. He refused to be that person anymore. He got up, walked to the dojo, to his sacred spot. He performed his practice. Slower, weaker, but he did it. 50 cuts, 50 stances, 50 thrusts. After he finished, he collapsed. Exhausted, but he'd done it. Yamamoto-sensei appeared. Today, you learned Shinnan, unwavering conviction. The 5th and final principle. He sat beside Saburō. Shinnan means your why is stronger than your how hard. When your body fails, when circumstances are terrible, when you have every excuse to quit, Your conviction carries you. Why are you building discipline? Saburō. Really? Deep answer. Saburō thought. Because I refuse to be a man whose word means nothing. I refuse to be someone who can't be trusted. I want to be a warrior not in name, in character. That is Shinnan. That conviction will carry you through every hard day for the rest of your life. These 5 principles, Shikō, Kantan, Kūkan, Kyoku, Shinnan, they build discipline that never breaks. Discipline built on motivation fails when motivation disappears. But discipline built on identity, simplicity, sacred practice, measured progress, and deep conviction, the discipline becomes unshakable. You've trained 31 consecutive days. You've proven you can keep a promise. Now keep going 50 days.